Hell yeah.
I'd say if the question was who's the best looking, I'd say the guy that sits in the middle. But
Well, I can tell you right now, you look like you're from Hawaii, so I think
We're just trying to have fun out here, and our idiot kicker got liquored up.
yeah, Holiday World for me because I'm not tall enough to ride the roller coasters at Kings Island.
Hell yeah.
Stay in school, kids, so you don't end up like me. They say challenging.
He's a dog.
Had number 2 had Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Okay.
Mom's
That's a
Spaghetti.
good one. That's a good one.
Mom's Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, he discuss. And if you like him, that tells me a lot about you.
I was in the gas station today, and a sweet old lady did say hello to me. I think she was into me.
Question.
We'll get a little bit more serious here. Bigfoot, I know you're out there, and I'm coming for you.
7 Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Number 3. Without chicken.
If you've ever heard a rumor about me, it's definitely true.
Hey, Jonathan, you want to come back to the horseshoe?
Perfect.
I can't even think of it.
Got it.
I'll look it up
No,
after
how's
this.
it going? How's it going?
I'm not gonna sing to you guys. 'Cause I'm just too good, obviously. I'd break glass or something like that, so I don't want to show off.
There's so much class. Long neck, I stole beer, never broke my heart. I think that's a good one. Yeah.
You hear that music? The NFL is one day away from being back. Man, am I excited. Carson, you better be careful over there. I'm about to come over there and tackle you. I got the football running through my veins. I cannot wait for tomorrow night. Man, what do you feel about this, Carson?
Oh, it is just nice to be back live on the couch. We took a nice week off last week. The last episode, Jake couldn't be here, but Jake is back now. Jake, how we doing?
Doing good. I kind of share the same sentiments as Jaden. Amped about football.
I know, like Jaden said, we got one day till week 1 football, and it starts with Kansas City and the Lions. And what a first game to start the year off. 2 explosive offense. Yes, we've had some injuries. We got some people suspended on the Lions, but I don't think NFL fans can ask for a better game to start the year off with.
I believe the highest projected point total of the week, right?
Is it really?
I think so, yes.
And so, this game is going to be exciting. I think all the way around the field. There's going to be a lot of points scored. But, today, I'm just going to kind of go over an overview of what we're doing today. So, today, all we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over every week 1 game. We're going to be us 3 are going to be giving predictions. If you want to follow along, please follow along. So, we are actually going to start this thing. It's kind of like a segment, I guess you can say. But, we're going to put it on an Excel sheet, a Google sheet that we're going to keep our record throughout the whole year. And then we're going to see who's on hot streaks. We're going to do most likely a lock of the week. We're going to do a lot of this and see who can keep the streak going the longest, and also who has the best record for let's just say sport betting terms, money line picks. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to kind of do, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. Kind of keeps the football engaged. You know what I mean? We're going to be able to look at every single game, see how teams are doing throughout the year, and then our preseason rankings we did, just a couple weeks ago for each division and our predictions. See how those line up with our predictions now. So I'm looking forward to it, and that's enough of me talking. So let's go and get started. Jake, you're going to lead us off with the Kansas City Chiefs and Detroit Lions. Give us a little input on it, and then who you think is going to win.
I feel like right now for making this pick, first game of the season, I feel like it's the Super Bowl. I feel like I'm running just off pure adrenaline. So no thoughts are even going through my head. I'm just playing with instinct. That's how excited I am right now for football. But like you guys are saying, there's it's exactly what all NFL fans would ask for, right? Explosive offenses. Obviously, there's some players missing, but also maybe not the greatest defenses in the world. The Detroit Lions are primed for an extremely good season and a pretty underrated NFC North, and then the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes, I think the big story of the game really fell on the Chiefs side, right? First off, no Chris Jones, or at least as of right now, he said today it was reported that he just wants a pay raise and he can play tomorrow.
Yeah, he can play
So
tomorrow.
that
I
shows
saw that. That's insane.
Yeah, so that shows you where his mindset is. But also Patrick Mahomes, man. If he can get it done tomorrow without Kelsey and with that receiving core, woo, man, oh man. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. So we'll see. I'm unamped. Do we go ahead and throw a prediction now, or do we want to do it after we all say our words?
We'll do it after we all say our words. Or no, say it now. So go ahead and say it now. Go ahead and say it now.
Okay, awesome. So I have the tomorrow I have the Detroit Lions winning. I have the Detroit Lions winning, and the only reason for that is because Week 1 doesn't matter one bit. So Detroit Lions winning tomorrow, and that's because Week 1, Game 1 doesn't matter one bit.
Okay, so he's going with the upset. Detroit Lions. That is an interesting pick. Jaden, what do you got?
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, you're looking at Travis Kelce, unfortunately going down with a knee. They're saying he still could play, but like it's really just a 50-50 shot. So if you're looking at Travis Kelce not playing, that's going to be a lot tougher for the Chiefs to move the ball without that massive weapon, maybe the best receiver in the NFL. Wide receiver and tight end, just the best weapon in the NFL, Travis Kelce. But also no Chris Jones. I mean, you're talking about a mean and nasty Detroit Lions offensive line. If they don't have Chris Jones, they might get ran all over by Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, who could be in for a breakout game. I definitely could see a Super Bowl hangover here for the Chiefs. But I'm still going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go with the better quarterback. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I mean, this is a team that over the past couple of years, they've played a lot on opening night. They played against the Texans a few years ago, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a huge game back in 2017 when we had that historic Kareem Hunt game. So, yeah, I just think the Chiefs always come to play Week 1, and I'm giving them the win here.
So you're on Chiefs?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, and so you guys have already covered most of it, and that's going to be most of it since you guys are going first, too, and you guys have covered everything as I would say. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but, like, yeah, kind of like what you guys said. I mean, it is – I feel like you're definitely going to see a different type of Chiefs out there. You're going to see the Lions come out probably boom, like blazing. They're going to come out there. Chiefs defense usually always starts off slow, even with Chris Jones. So I think you're going to see a high-scoring game, but I just feel like it's too hard to bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes for the win. I think Kansas City gets it done in the first game of the NFL season.
He's just simply not a guy you bet against. He could have high school receivers, and I'm not betting against Patty Mahomes. He's just that good.
Yeah, and then so obviously I'm curious to see. So a lot of sports books. I know we don't. Jacob just actually did 21. Jacob, obviously you would take. That means you're saying you would take the Lions plus 5.5.
Absolutely. I think that the Lions plus 5.5 is a really good number. I think if the Chiefs did win, I think either way, I think this is probably a game-winning field goal affair. So I think Lions plus 5 is a really good number.
All right, and then Jaden, so you went Kansas City. So do you think Kansas City wins by 6, or do you think it is closer than 6?
I think it'll be closer than 6, me personally.
Closer than 6. Okay. And then I'm gonna say, Kansas City does win by 6. So I think Kansas City gets it done, and I think it is a touchdown game. I think they do win by 7.
Something I didn't really think about is that this is kind of a rematch of that one of the best games of all time, that Rams and Chiefs game with Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes, where we had like 50 to 50. They were both in the 50s and 40s. It was a high scoring game. So yeah, hopefully it's a repeat of that.
Yeah, and then all right, so let's move on to Sunday. So that's tomorrow. We can't wait for it. A lot of big names tomorrow playing. And if you're a fantasy football player or have a team and you got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, all these big names. But moving on to the first game, I don't know. I'm just going off a random order what I see. First game I see is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Pittsburgh Steelers are, they're sleepers this year. I mean, they had a winning record with a team that was not very good last year, and this team just got older. That's all they did. So, I mean, a lot more veteran experience. And obviously the 49ers are were one of the best. They were probably if healthy, they were probably the best team in the NFC last year. So with Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy's back. Jake, what do you think? Who's winning 49ers and Steelers, and give me why? And also, all right, and then I'll come back to the spread after. At the end. Just money line.
So 49ers versus Steelers. Biggest deal right now is actually breaking news. Nick Bosa signed his contract.
Oh, really?
Biggest in NFL history.
Highest paid defensive player of all time, obviously, right?
Yeah.
That's how these contracts seem to work. So here's the next man in line. He's just signed, I believe, $122.5 million guaranteed in that contract.
Holy
so
cow.
So Nick Bosa will be playing. That's a pretty big deal. But I honestly think the Steelers are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a cagey affair, the exact opposite of the Lions, the Chiefs. I think you give Mike Tomlin a whole offseason to game plan for a game that can make up for some of the maybe faults that makes the 49ers better than the Steelers. So don't get me wrong. I think the 49ers are a better team. I think by the end of the season they'll be a better team as far as the distance gone in the playoffs. But I think the Steelers win this game. I really trust in their offense. I think that they're going to have a much better season. And then defensively, when you not only have T.J. Watt, one of the best defensive players in the league, but Minka Fitzpatrick to clean up everything on the back end, I think the Steelers are a great team. So Nick Bosa re-signed with the 49ers, but I think the Steelers win this Week 1 game.
Okay, Steelers. Wow, that is probably. So right now Jake is 2 for 2 on upsets by sportsbook. So that is actually interesting to look at.
You want me to talk?
Yep, go ahead.
So I was looking at the forecast for this game. It's actually supposed to rain, which to me kind of signals that this could be a pretty ugly kind of defensive duel game. You know, both of these teams have a lot of talented players on really both sides of the ball, but in a rainy game, I expect the defenses to really stand out. I think it could be a low-scoring affair where both teams kind of manage the clock, kind of just run the ball a lot. And I think that is honestly better set up for a team like the 49ers that plays more physical than anybody, which the Steelers can do a little bit of that too. But I am more inclined to take the 49ers until I see that step up from the Steelers, which I think they could take. But yeah, I'm going with 49ers in this one.
Okay, so Jaden goes Niners. So this is a weird little situation for me. I think there's a lot of big question marks with the 49ers, especially at the quarterback position. I mean, Brock Purdy's coming off a rare injury for a quarterback. I mean, like, MLB pitchers get this, right? And that's what.
Right.
So this is a weird injury. This is a throwing motion injury. Granted, they say he's 100% back. I just still think, like, the 49ers are too overpowered. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think you're going to see a lot of good things from them this year. I think Kenny Pickett will solidify himself like being a top 15 quarterback this year. I think he has a really good opportunity too. He has a lot of good targets there. Obviously Najee's back. They have Warren too. I think you're going to see the Steelers rise. I think you'll see them win. Still have that winning record. I see them possibly being a 10-win team surprisingly in that division, tough division. So I'm actually going to say, but I'm still sticking with the 49ers. I think they're the better team, better defense, just better all around. So give me 49ers money line. I think they just get it done. Just better team, and Christian McCaffrey can play quarterback if he has to. So Jake, so obviously you took Steelers, so you're taking 2.5. That's the spread for the Steelers, and then Jade, do you think the Steelers? So you have. Do you think the Steelers only lose by 2 because you have the 49ers winning, or do you think it's more than that?
I don't know. I don't really look at spreads. I didn't prepare that, so they could. I don't know. Well,
so you don't know. Okay.
No
I'm gonna say 49ers do. I'm gonna say 49ers do cover. So that would mean I think they win by 3 points. I think it will be a field goal game. I think 49ers win. Alrighty, and then Jake. So we got Carolina and Atlanta. Go ahead and go.
I'm sorry, you broke up.
Oh, it is Carolina and Atlanta.
Carolina and Atlanta.
A lot of young teams there.
Absolutely, a little NFC South matchup here. Two fan bases that are probably thrilled to see What is on the horizon for their teams. Carolina obviously brought in Bryce Young, a face of the franchise for them, they hope. And then the Atlanta Falcons brought in a generational talent, some may say, in Bijan Robinson, to already help that stacked run game. Now Atlanta is at home, and sometimes in close games like this, where I really think the rosters are similar, I really look at the kicker difference. And I see Young Hoku versus Eddie Pinheiro. Both are actually pretty good kickers. Eddie Pinheiro's kind of made a rise ever since the Bears. But I think I think the Falcons win just because of twofold. First off, they're at home, but also Young Hoku is one of the best kickers in the league. So I have the Falcons.
So Jake has the Falcons because Young Hoku. So
The best name in the NFL.
So basically, the Falcons might not lose because they have the best kicker in the NFL.
Well, they better hope they don't face the Ravens. I'll tell you that.
I mean, it might be an underrated argument to make. I mean, teams that go far usually have a good kicker.
That or Matt Gay. That dude got paid.
He's paid like it.
Hey, he's my fantasy kicker. I'm rooting for him.
But I do want to throw a key. Remember, I said a really close matchup, so the rosters are very similar. I think it's important to look at the kicker. So I don't think the 49ers, or I don't think the Falcons will beat the 49ers today, Young Hoku, but I think in this matchup, I like Young Hoku.
Yeah. All right, Jade, what you got?
I feel a little bit different about this actually. As you probably picked up if you've been listening to us, I'm a big believer in the Falcons this year, and I think that they're going to hand it to the Panthers. I think you just got a rookie quarterback. In the preseason, the receivers could not get open. Their offensive line looked rough for the Panthers. And I just think the Falcons are going to come out. Brian Burns might not even play for the Panthers. He's been kind of going through a contract dispute. So I think the Falcons are just going to come out and run all over the Panthers. I think it could be a sneaky little blowout for the Falcons.
All right, and then I'm actually going to take the Carolina Panthers to win. I think, so Jade, you took Falcons. Jake, you took Falcons, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go Carolina Panthers. I think Carolina Panthers are. I feel like they're a safe team. I mean, same thing with they're kind of like the Falcons and them are kind of like really similar. Not a lot of experience at quarterback position for both teams. The running back position, obviously Bijan's up there. He's definitely higher value than Miles Sanders. But offensive lines, they both have really good offensive lines. But both these teams, the Falcons have probably the best run game. One of the best run games. They're probably not better than the Eagles, but one of the best run blocking offensive lines. But the Carolina Panthers are good too at run blocking. So I think this game is going to be neck and neck. But I think Carolina gets it done. I think what it comes down to is who has more of a better passing game. And I think it's going to come. And I think Carolina has a better passing game. I think Bryce Young will do better than Desmond Ridder. And I think you could possibly see a very bad game from Desmond Ridder. So I'm going Carolina, and then so we're just going to kind of move on to just the next game. We're just going to move on to money lines. So we're just going to see who's going to win. So let's go, Jake. Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens next.
Honestly, anything?
I mean, there's excitement obviously for the Texans. They have 2 top 3 picks on their team now.
Exactly.
The C.J. Stroud era, but the Ravens are, in my opinion, a much better roster than the Texans.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's actually my lock of the week. I don't know if we were saving that for the end, but it's just too obvious. I mean, looking at both of these teams compared to each other, I think the Ravens are literally, you could argue, better at every single position on the field. I think there's no reason that the Ravens should lose this. They should beat them. Yeah, you could argue for that, but pretty much everywhere else they're either the same or better. So they should take care of business pretty handedly.
Yeah, and then I'm actually going. I'm kidding. I'm going Baltimore. Like you guys said, there's nothing the Houston Texans can do to win this game. I just feel like there's no way. The spread's 10, and there's a reason for it. So I'm going Baltimore Ravens.
So that's what I was going to say. Now we're not talking about the spreads anymore. What do you think about that -10 spread?
I mean, that's a lot.
Texas +10.
I mean, that's a lot of.
That's a ton of points.
That's a ton of points. But thing is though, first career start, you're going to Baltimore. I mean, I feel like you're going to see a lot of struggling. I feel like C.J. Stroud's going to struggle in Week 1.
Gotcha.
I think. I don't think there's going to be I don't think there will be too many good young quarterbacks that do very well Week 1. I really don't.
I mean, C.J. Stroud was a guy that the reason he was good at Ohio State was because they had a really good offensive line. He had all day to throw. I don't know if you can say that about the Texans. And the Ravens blitz more than anybody in the NFL. So it might be, like you said, it might be pretty scary for C.J.
Well,
Stroud.
then he also had Marvin Harrison, who's arguably would be the receiver 1 right now, and he's in college.
Now he's throwing to what? Robert Woods,
Nico
Tank
Collins.
Dell, and Nico Collins,
So,
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. That's all we got to say about the Baltimore Ravens game. So moving on, so we all took Ravens as the first match we had, all the way across the board. Let's see here. Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and say this about it. So the Cleveland Browns are at home. This is a 1 p.m. start. Right now they have Cleveland Browns not favored at home. So what you got, Jig?
Yeah, so Joe Burrow and the Bengals are kind of known. They're kind of notorious for their Week 1 struggles. It seems like it happens just about every year. So we'll see if they can really right the ship this year. It's not like Week 1 makes the biggest deal in the world. But Michael Lombardi said, former NFL GM, said on the Pat McAfee show a couple weeks ago. A lot of times they say it's not about how you finish, but it's about how you end. But if you look at most of the Super Bowl contenders year in and year out, they generally start well. Good teams, you generally start the season well. That's just a fact, and the stats back that up. But I think Joe Burrow's too good to struggle every single. He's got it figured out. Joe Burrow's got it figured out. That's all I'm trying to say. The dog pound will be going crazy. Obviously, that elf on the center of the field will be there. But I think the Bengals win this win.
Okay, what you got, Jade?
I think this will be one of the closest games of the week. The Bengals always struggle against the Browns every single time, which I'm kind of curious to pick the Browns here, but I can't get myself to do it as a Bengals fan. I think Joe Burrow is going to take this opportunity. He's going to know he's struggled in the past Week 1. He's going to know he's struggled against the Browns, and he's going to make a statement here. He's going to take care of the Browns, although I am very curious to see how Deshaun Watson looks. So I'm taking the Bengals.
All right, and then so I'm not going to make this a clean sweep. I think the Cleveland Browns get it done. The reason for that is obviously they're at the dog pound. They finally got a new logo, and it actually looks good. It's not just a brown helmet or orange helmet or an elf on the field. They actually have a dog on their. I think is the dog going on the field?
No, they're keeping the elf there.
Dang it. Okay, so maybe they do lose. No, I'm kidding. But no, they did get a new logo. It is a dog. I think the Cleveland Browns, you're going to see them a lot better this year. Deshaun Watson actually had a full offseason with them. He played a little bit last year, kind of figuring out the offense. They brought in Elijah Moore. They brought in they still have Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt's out. Offensive line's really good. Defense is really good. I just really think that Joe Burrow not being at practice, not practicing, I know it's Joe Burrow though, I know that, but I just feel like the Cincinnati Bengals, every year he's been there, I believe, they've started off slow. I know last year they were 1-4, I believe, to start the year. The year before that, I'm pretty sure they were 0-4. And then the year before that, that's when he tore his ACL. So I don't think he's had a good start with the Cincinnati Bengals every year he's been there. So I'm actually going to say, I'm going to say safe. I'm going to say the Cleveland Browns get it done. And they upset via the sportsbook the Bengals. So now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Minnesota. This is a 6-point difference. They have Minnesota favored by 6. So what do you got, Jake?
I think 6 is a little short for this line, just because Tampa's going to the Vikings. So I think 6 is a little short. I think that the Vikings could easily win by 2 scores, maybe 10. Obviously, the Vikings are they kind of returned a lot of their cast from last year, and Tampa Bay lost the greatest of all time. So it'll be fascinating to see how it goes. But man, going into Skull, it's a tough place to play. So I have the Vikings actually winning by more than 6.
Gotcha.
I think this game will actually be really high scoring. Just kind of knowing how bad that Vikings defense has been the past several years. It hasn't gotten that much better. And they're also going to pass the ball more than anybody else in the NFL. I mean, they let Dalvin Cook walk out the door. They draft another first-round receiver. They're looking to absolutely air it out. And I think that sets them up to be in a lot of shootouts this year. And I think that's how it's going to be here. I don't care if it's Baker Mayfield. There's going to be a lot of points put up from both sides here. But I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take the Vikings. I think they're just overall better roster. I'm going to go with them.
Alrighty, and then I think the Buccaneers. I think this team isn't as bad as I think people are saying. I mean, this team still has a lot of the Super Bowl roster. I know they don't have TB12, but like Baker Mayfield, he has shown flashes in the NFL. He has a strong arm. Mike Evans is a go down the field guy. I know there's been some contract situations there, but he is playing. I think, Baker has an arm. He can get it to Mike Evans. Mike Evans likes to run go routes. I think you're going to see a lot of big plays in this game, both sides of the ball. I think you're going to see Rachaad White is not a running back. He's a receiving back for a running back, obviously. But, I just feel like you're going to see a lot of air and out. I think this game could be very high scoring. Do I think the Vikings get it done, though? Yes, just because they have a better overall roster, and they also have a better quarterback. But I think the additions of Byron Murphy going to the Vikings is actually bigger than what I think people are giving them. I think Byron Murphy is really underrated. He's been on the Arizona Cardinals, who have not been good, but he's been one of the stars on their defense. And the Vikings getting Byron Murphy, I think, is huge. So I think you'll see that play a big factor throughout the year. And I say the Vikings get it done. So that is a clean sweep, number 2. So next game we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Washington Commanders. It is Cardinals are going to Washington, and it is a 7-point difference. Wow.
Yeah. So, man, I don't know. Who are the Cardinals starting? Josh Jobs, right?
Yeah, this looks like week 15, and both teams are injured to death.
Yeah, so I don't even know who the Cardinals are starting. I don't really care who the Cardinals are starting. But I've kind of spoke a few times on this podcast. I'm really excited about Sam Howell. Actually, I think he's gonna have a good year. It doesn't hurt that I have Terry McLaurin in my fantasy team. And I saw him running route today. Man, he looked prime. Looked like his toe wasn't even bothering him. So I think the Commanders win this by more than a touchdown.
Interesting.
Talk about a game that I will not be tuning into. It would be this one. I could care less about the Cardinals or the Commanders. I think this is a game where I am going to take the Commanders just because I think the Cardinals are obviously in full tank mode. I mean, James Conner, the running back, he's been injured a lot. He could be a guy this year where they have nothing to play for. He might get a bruise on his elbow and say, I'm going to sit the season out just because there's no reason to play. I'm not going to be probably betting on the Cardinals to win many games this year. So I'm going to go with the Commanders here.
And this is probably my biggest upset. I'm going the Arizona Cardinals. The reason for that is, it's not fun just to keep picking the same team. So, actually, though. I think a lot of people forgetting, Dobbs won a really big game last year for the Tennessee Titans, and I think it was against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wasn't that Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football? Do you guys remember that?
I think so.
And it was a game where they didn't have Derrick Henry. They didn't have Treylon Burks. He literally has a roster like he does now. And the Washington Commanders are nowhere near the Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Dobbs, he got traded here recently, so does he know the offense? I don't know. But I think for some odd reason, I just have a feeling the Arizona Cardinals are going to get a win. And do I think they're going to have many? No. But I'm not high on Washington Commanders. I do not think Sam Howell is a guy. But I think this will be a crap show and take the under, and I think the Cardinals get it done. Let's see here. We have 2 more until we take a quick break, and then we'll come back to the 4 o'clock window of Monday Night Football. So we have the Tennessee Titans traveling to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 3. What you got, Jake?
Yeah, I think New Orleans is going to be so loud for this game. I feel like Derek Carr has kind of rejuvenated their fan base. It's kind of a question on how exactly he's going to play, but I really think the Saints win this game big, week 1. New Orleans is an incredible environment, and I think it kind of demoralizes the Titans a little bit. So I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
This is another game I'm not too excited about. I mean, you got two kind of slower offenses here, conservative play callers, or at least last year that was the case. So I expect it to be kind of an uglier game, but I do think the Saints at home take home the win. The Titans have the worst offensive line in the league. I think the Saints have a good enough run defense to slow down Derrick Henry. I don't think anybody can stop him, but they can maybe slow him down. And I think Derek Carr is good enough to lead this team to a victory week 1.
So I hate going last because I hate just picking the same teams, but I chose the Cardinals last time. I'm not choosing the Titans. I'm not a Titans fan, so I got to go with the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints will be very good this year. I think you'll see them win a lot of football games. Their division's weak, so I think you'll see the Saints. You could definitely see the Saints winning 10 games this year. I think Derek Carr has shown that he can be a good quarterback. Wait till they get Alvin Kamara back. I think this team could be really scary with their defense ability as well. So I'm going the Saints as well. And then the last game, and then we'll take a quick break after this one, is our Indianapolis Colts home versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have the Jags 4.5 right now. What do you got, Jake?
I think that first off, Indianapolis, it's going to be everybody's so excited to see AR.
It's sold out.
So that's
FYI.
it's sold out. Of course it is. I also think that the big Chris Angel event sold out Friday. Did you guys hear about that? Yeah, Chris Angel is actually going to be at Lucas Oil Stadium Friday, setting a world record.
Wow.
Magician.
That's serious. That's what's happening to open the season. So Jim Irsay invited him in. So apparently that's sold out too. Coincidentally, they also didn't sell any tickets to it. It's free to come in, so I don't really know how it's sold out. But Irsay does say it's sold out, so that's good.
That's good.
Pretty fascinating little circumstance there. But I'm saying all this, everybody's getting so hyped. The crowd's going to come in. It's going to be electric. Watch AR. Watch this new offense. Watch this new head coach. And I have the Jags.
Okay.
So. Hey,
hang on. So this one I am going to try to get your input on the spread. Do you take the Colts spread here, though? At home, 4.5.
4.5. That's an awkward number.
It is an awkward. At least it's over a field goal.
It is over a field goal. Yeah, that's true. I honestly don't hate the spread there. I don't hate plus 4.5 Colts.
All right. I just want to get
maybe that's my bias also. Who knows? The Colts could be like the worst team of all time. That could happen too. But
that's true.
I 4.5. That's a pretty good number, I think, for a home team that's at least a little bit competent.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this game. The Colts defense is what really scares me here. You're talking about a Jacksonville Jaguars team that put up a lot of points last season. A lot of people are expecting another step up from Trevor Lawrence this year, and I could definitely see it when you bring in a guy like Calvin Ridley, who was lighting it up in preseason. A lot of talk. I think it could be a potential situation like when Stephon Diggs came over to the Bills, and both of them kind of elevated each other. They both became elite players. I think that's what we could see with Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley this season. I think the Jags are not going to be stopped by the Colts defense. I think they take care of business pretty handily.
So I want to get your input on this because this is our team, obviously. Do you think they win by more than 4.5?
I do.
So you think it's more than 2 possessions?
Yes.
Come on, man. All right. Well, you already know. You guys see that? Jake doesn't see it. Jake can see it on the camera later. I'm wearing my Anthony Richardson jersey. I'm taking the Colts. I'm going biased, and I think no one knows what this team's like. No one knows. We have a lot of drama, yeah. But I really do think Shane Steichen's going to play really smart. I think he's going to play smart every game, and I think we'll be in every game. I think the Colts are going to be in a lot of close games. Can we win those games? I don't know, but I think you can always take the Colts spread because I think we probably won't be favored in a lot of games, but I think we'll be one of the best teams against the spread just because how safe we're going to be by running the ball a lot. And Jaden, you said you were scared of our defense. We had the number 2 defense. Obviously, we lost Stephon Gilmore, and we lost Isaiah Rodgers.
And Okereke.
But
you guys lost a lot.
But I think we're also getting a lot of people forgetting we are getting Shaq Leonard back. Shaq Leonard is literally he was rated the best linebacker just a year ago before he got hurt. I think everybody's forgetting about Shaq Leonard. He is a game wrecker. He causes turnovers left and right. I think DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye on he's going to come back, have another good year. Give me the Indianapolis Colts to win, and I'm telling you, Anthony Richardson, Shane Steichen, they're going to get it done.
I'm just absolutely terrified about those Colts defensive backs. I just can't see them guarding the Jaguars.
I mean, we have Rodney Thomas and Julian Blackman, really good safeties. Nick Cross.
I wouldn't say really good safeties. They might be decent.
They're decent.
I like Julian Blackman. He's a good player, but I can't say they're very good players.
And then you got a lot of young rookie corners. So who knows what they're going to be like?
I won't be betting on rookie corners week 1.
Sounds like you won't be betting it up because you don't look at spreads.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
A little bit of breaking news here. Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's going to be out Sunday, and he could potentially go on the IL.
Yeah, I saw that. That ain't good for me.
Yep.
Yeah, Sean McVay said he could potentially go on the IL.
IR?
IR, same thing.
Dude, big difference. Baseball, football.
Nope.
But,
well, I guess that is a big difference.
yeah. But,
Actually, Cooper Kupp's being put on the Los Angeles Angels IL. He's still playing this week. But
and he's actually going to take Shohei Ohtani's spot.
Yeah.
So, but,
yeah, so what do you say, Chris?
For my fantasy sake, that really stinks. But one good thing about it is that's why you draft depth, baby. I have a lot of depth, so I can just slide somebody in. I think it'll be Brandon Cooks. So I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. A passing team in the Dallas Cowboys and Brandon Cooks, receiver number 2 there. So I think I'll be okay there. Obviously, it's a big drop off, but it's okay. And then so that rounds up our week 1 at 1:00 games and Thursday night game. We'll come back after this short break and do our 4:00. And then we'll do Sunday night and Monday night football, and then we will end this show. So you guys got anything before the break?
Nope.
All good? All right, we'll be right back. welcome back to the CFTC HQ. We are moving on to the 4 o'clock games. So the 4 o'clock games, a little weird. So the start time of the first 4 o'clock game is 4 o'clock. It's usually, you know how it's usually like 4:05, 4:25. It's a little weird. So yeah, we got the LA Rams. So actually, before we do this, so we have the LA Rams Seahawks first game. Jake, go ahead and thank you for your answer. But so what we're gonna do to finish up this show, we're gonna do all the rest of the games. So we'll do the 4 o'clock game, 4 o'clock window. We'll move to Sunday Night Football. Then we'll do the Monday Night Football, and then we will do a little quick Week 1 game segment. That's pretty cool. And then we'll do final words and we're out of here. So Jake, what do you got for the LA Rams and Seahawks? It's at Seattle. It's
LA is fighting an absolutely uphill battle.
Yes.
They're fighting an extremely uphill battle here. Obviously, no Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald's playing. Matt Stafford's playing. That's the whole Rams team.
Yeah.
So I just keep it short and sweet. I got the Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't go with the Rams here in this one either. You look at that Rams defense, and you could literally play, is this an NFL player or a plumber? And I couldn't tell you the difference. Outside of Aaron Donald, I do not know many people on their defense. And I think the Seattle offense only got stronger in the offseason. I expect the Seahawks to absolutely destroy them.
Yeah, and then Week 1 is all about finding your ground. And if you watch the show, not a believer in Geno Smith. And yes, no Cooper Kupp. Man, that is a nice, enticing money line though. Take the LA Rams here. I'm taking the LA Rams. LA Rams, they have Matt Stafford back. I think that's a big player for them. Obviously, like this dude's won a Super Bowl. They have a really good coach in Sean McVay. He started the trend of young coaches. Yes, it's an upset. Definitely is an upset. But I am going to take the LA Rams. I think Matt Stafford. Look for a big game for Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, if he's on your waiver wire, this is a very good player to go pick up. Same thing with Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee will see probably 8 to 10 catches in the first game, just because without Cooper Kupp. So look for Higbee. Look for Van Jefferson. If either of them are waiver wire pickups, I'd pick them up definitely. Look to see the Rams slow the pace down and try to milk the clock and win this game. So I have the LA Rams winning this as a surpriser. Then you got the Philadelphia Eagles going to the New England Patriots. It's actually only a 4-point difference. What do you got, Jake?
So Tom Brady is going to be in the house for New England. They're going to retire his number Sunday. Bill Belichick an entire offseason. I hate Nick Sirianni. Get to the Patriots.
Okay. A little Super Bowl hangover, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the bias might be coming through here for me. You know, I'm on record as one of the biggest Eagles haters. I cannot get myself to pick the Eagles against a Bill Belichick defense. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough game. They're going to be playing in a thunderstorm, it says, according to the weather forecast. Yeah, I'm predicting a Super Bowl hangover here for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I think it could be a really tough game for them.
So you just mentioned it's going to be bad weather?
Yep.
So it looks like we might have 2 Sunday Night Football games. This one might get pushed back. So go ahead but you guys took the Pats. I'm jumping away again. I keep jumping away from you guys, but I'm going with the Super Bowl contenders. Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know. This team's loaded. I don't know. I think arguably they got a better running back than Miles Sanders. I think DeAndre Swift was on the Detroit Lions. I know he had a lot of injury problems, but I mean Miles Sanders was gifted a lot at the Philadelphia Eagles, so I think they just got better at the running back room, getting Rashad Penny as well. They were the number 1 ranked running team in the NFL. I think you're going to see them run the ball insane, considering the weather's going to be bad. Look for a lot of rushing yards from the Philadelphia Eagles. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles. And then we have the Raiders versus the Broncos. The Raiders are traveling to the Denver Broncos. And this is a 4-point difference. So they have the Broncos favored. It's kind of it's a little weird because the Broncos had a really rough year last year, and nothing really changed. Like, yes, they got some pieces, like they got some Mike McGlinchey, but it was no big like.
And they got Sean Payton. I'd say that's a pretty big change.
That's big, but like there's player wise, they didn't really get nothing stand out. You know what I mean? So the teams are relatively pretty like the same, but they are saying that Sean McVay does make this team a 4-point difference. So I'm curious to see, what do you guys have?
To be honest, I don't think Sean Payton likes Russell Wilson. I don't think Russell Wilson likes Sean Payton.
Well, yeah. Did you see that thing about today?
Yeah, and I'm guessing if Sean Payton actually said that to Russ probably did not like that too much. He's like, I don't know, that's like his whole thing.
Yeah.
Just being a little cornball that kisses babies and
Yeah.
whatever. So, I actually don't think Denver's gonna have that great of a season. And I actually think Las Vegas is going to surprise a lot of people. I like their team. No Chandler Jones could be an issue if he doesn't play. But other than that, I mean, they have Max Crosby as a pass rusher. They still have Josh Jacobs. They have Jimmy Garoppolo. What do you say, Carson? What does Jimmy Garoppolo do?
Wins football games, baby.
Wins football games. So I think I'm going to take the Raiders here, going into Denver and beating them.
Exactly.
And I just can't get that game from last year between these two out of my mind, where Patrick Surtain was absolutely locking everybody up last year, but then Devontae Adams came along and he absolutely torched Pat Surtain, and I see more of the same. I think Josh Jacobs is going to pick up where he left off, and I think the Raiders are going to go out and win this game. I think the Broncos, like you said, maybe a little bit of chemistry issues there between Peyton and Russell Wilson. The Broncos' offensive line looked terrible in the preseason. No Jerry Jeudy likely. We don't know what we're getting with P. Ryan and Javonte Williams. I just have too many question marks around this Broncos team to give them the win in this game. I'm going with the Raiders.
So very interesting. So we all are going with the not favorites. So that is interesting. I'm a big Jimmy G believer, kind of like Jake knows, like he just said. Jimmy G, he just gets the job done. I feel like anywhere he goes, that's why I think the Colts made the wrong decision on getting Carson Wentz over Jimmy G. I think if Colts got Jimmy G, we would not be in the situation we are in now in the past 2 years. Jake, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
So I just think Jimmy G, he's so easygoing. He fits a lot of play styles. Obviously, you can't have him running read options and stuff, but he can fit a lot of zone running and like all that quarterback play styles. I think Jimmy G is a really good quarterback. They bring in guys like Jacoby Myers, who won the game for the Raiders last year. So he can throw passes to Chandler Jones, we've seen. So maybe we can see like Jacoby Myers, former quarterback actually. Maybe we can see him play a little out of position quarterback and then put like Chandler Jones out as a tight end or something and maybe throw a touchdown just like he did last year. So they have the connection going. Hopefully they let Chandler Jones into the weight room. There was a little problem with that. Josh McDaniels said, no, you're not allowed in. Mark Davis, I think he just doesn't like Chandler Jones for some reason. So maybe hopefully they figure that out. But no, give me the Raiders to win the game.
Do you guys remember the Broncos' first game last season, who they played?
Who was it?
Seahawks in Seattle. Remember that? Russell Wilson?
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Booed every time he touched the ball Monday Night Football.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I remember Gino said that he didn't write back or something. That's what his famous.
Yeah, they wrote me out, but I ain't right
Yeah,
back.
exactly. Yeah, that was the famous
I don't know
little
what that means, but it's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, and then we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a dogfight, I think. Obviously, this line say it. It is 1.5 to the Bears. It's at Soldier Field.
I'm going Green Bay here. They own this series. I think they kind of own the Bears. Justin Fields, he's going to have a good season, but I think the Bears are a little bit overhyped this year. But I think Green Bay wins.
Okay.
This is a very interesting game because obviously nobody knows what Jordan Love is. He could come out and be absolutely amazing, but nobody really knows. Justin Fields, everybody seems to consensus be expecting a step up from him, but I'm not so sure. Maybe that does happen, maybe it doesn't. But I'm just looking at the injury report. We got Watson and Doubs did not practice today with hamstring issues, and I think that's a really big thing, especially when they're going to be playing in Chicago. I'm going to have to go with the Bears on this one.
All right, and then I'm actually going to go Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I think either way you pick, you know what I mean? I think this is a 50-50 game. I really do. I think I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers as well. The reason why I take the Packers here is because of I feel like the run game of their team. So Aaron Rodgers obviously didn't have the season he did the past 3 years. Obviously no Devontae Adams, so the offense kind of changed what they kind of like to do, their identity. And I feel like it fits more of a quarterback of Jordan Love. And I think you might see the Packers even take a step up because of the fact of, LaFleur is going to be more like, all right, we're going to run the ball even more. And when you have guys like Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, a pretty good offensive line, Musgrave, I'm pretty sure he's a good run blocker. So, you have a lot of these guys that are like Mercedes Lewis, like the best run blocking tight end out there. You have such a solidified run game that you're going to see a lot of play action, stuff like that. So I think you're going to see, I think you might see the Green Bay Packers take a step up from last year. And I think you're going to see them run the ball a lot. Jordan Love might not throw the ball even that much.
And the Bears had a rough run defense last year, so I definitely don't blame you making that point there.
Yeah. So I'm going the Green Bay Packers. So you went the Bears, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we got the last 4 o'clock game. In the 4 o'clock window, we have the Miami Dolphins and the LA Chargers. It is at LA. This game is most likely set to be a shootout. What do we have, Jake?
So this is like the hype boy game. All the hype boys, they love both of these teams. So I don't really know which way to go. I hate both of these teams, or at least I don't know. I not hate them, but I definitely don't like the Dolphins, and I'm not that big of a Justin Herbert believer.
You like Mike McDaniel, though, right?
Oh my God, I hate Mike McDaniel. He's so cheesy. Why does he act like that?
I mean,
Why does he act so dumb?
I
He
think
hasn't done anything.
he's pretty cool. He jewels on the sideline.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. He is pretty cool.
Yeah, he
You're
is.
right.
He is pretty cool.
So honestly, just because you said that made me mad, I'm going with the Chargers.
Okay.
I don't like Mike McDaniel.
All right. What do you got, Jaden?
Yeah, I think these two teams played last year, and it was nothing short of expectation. It was an electric game. We had that crazy Tyreek Hill play where there was a fumble and he took it back to the house. And
Yeah.
these two teams are just really high-powered offenses. Like you said, it's supposed to be a shootout, but no Jalen Ramsey, I think, actually is pretty important. Mike Williams destroyed Xavier Howard last year. As long as everybody's healthy, Justin Herbert doesn't have cracked ribs or whatever this year. I'm a huge Justin Herbert guy, maybe different from Jacob. I think Justin Herbert goes out and makes an early MVP season case with this game. Huge game for Justin
That's what
Herbert.
he always does. He makes an early MVP season case, then he loses in the playoffs or doesn't make them,
Yeah, that's true,
in my
too.
opinion.
Downfall for Justin Herbert. He is in a very hard division.
That's true. He plays the Chiefs twice a year.
I say, when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, most likely you're not going to win the division. He might not win the division ever in his career. That's the crazy part.
Honestly.
So I think, but no, I am going with the Chargers as well. I think Ramsey's a big loss for them. There's a big question mark at who's the Dolphins running back, and Mike McDaniel's obviously coming from the 49ers, big run guy. So who knows about A-Chain? A-Chain has been questionable on if he's able to play. I'm pretty sure Mostert is hurt as well. I feel like there's Jeff Wilson's on IR. So I don't know what's going on in the running back field, and Mike McDaniel likes to run the ball. So I feel like they'll be able to play safe on their play actions and their deep balls with Tyreek Hill and Waddle. So I think you can see the Chargers play safe, and they have a really good defense. I mean, the Chargers brought in Eric Kendricks, who I think is a big addition for this team. They needed that vocal leader on their defensive line or linebacking core, and they got it. So I think the Chargers win this. I think they handle it well too. I think the Chargers win this game by more than a touchdown. And then moving on to Sunday Night Football. So is it still is it still Collinsworth and Mike Tirico?
It is.
Wow. What a crew. It doesn't beat Collinsworth and Al Michaels.
Al
but,
Michaels. Yeah.
So Sunday Night Football, we have a little rivalry. We have the Dallas Cowboys going to New York. Cowboys are favored by 3.5. Who you got?
Going into New York. That's the tough part about that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of criticism surrounding Dak right now. I think I'm going to go Giants. I think that the Cowboys are probably on paper a better team, but I think the Giants maybe have a little bit more buy-in for their head coach. But another thing to look for, Mike McCarthy calling plays. That's fascinating. So we'll see what that's all about.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Cowboys. Could be biased. It's going to be tough to go in there and win in New York, but I think we see a big Tony Pollard game. I mean, he's a player I'm just super excited to watch. I think Dak is going to be wanting to prove a point. He said he's going to throw under 10 interceptions this season. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think he's going to be on his A game. We've seen him play well in week ones in the past. So, yeah, I think he comes out, takes care of business, takes down the Giants, although I am a big fan of Brian Daboll, the coach of the Giants. Such a good coach. So it's going to be a tough one, but I'll take my Cowboys.
Yeah, and then I'm going to take the Cowboys as well. I think the Cowboys, I think they're just a better team. They have a better roster. Yes, Brian Daboll is a great coach. I mean, he has shown that. Like, he took the same roster, and turned it into a team that they made the playoffs, right? Yeah, they were a wild card. So he's already shown that he is a great coach because he literally took a team that was not good to the playoffs. And then the Dallas Cowboys, I think they have one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. I think a big sleeper pick for them is getting Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, he was elite for the Colts last year. He still has it. And he took over the cornerback one position. He is better than Stephon Diggs. He's better than is it Trevon
Diggs.
He's better than Trevon Diggs still. And I think that defense will be elite this year. And I see Daniel Jones having a rough game, the first game of the year. But I think the Giants will be just fine. But I think you could see him having a rough game one. So I'm going Cowboys. And then we got Monday Night Football. Peyton Manning, Eli on the call, I believe, right?
Yep. They were holding casting auditions, but apparently they didn't end up getting anybody.
Oh, nice. Maybe we can get on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe. But so we have a very good game. I think this could be the game of the week. And it's for Monday night. To end week one, we have the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. It's at New York, so 2 games at MetLife, but the Bills are favored. I have a feeling I know where Jake's going, but let's see what he has to say.
Yeah. So the Buffalo Bills, right? A team that maybe hasn't quite exceeded expectations, but they're always great. They're definitely conference finals, divisional finals, contenders. Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Stephon Diggs, he's back and he seems like he's happy again. The Bills' defense is honestly one of the more underrated parts of their crew. When Von Miller, when he's healthy, is great. Obviously, the secondary, Poyer, Hyde, Trey White. But there's one problem. They're facing a bad man Monday night. I'm in 3 fantasy football leagues. I have Aaron Rodgers in all 3. I think Aaron Rodgers is coming out with a vengeance this year. I think he has a 3 or 4 touchdown performance Monday night. I really think Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP this year. I'm taking the Jets by 1 billion.
Very interesting.
But how many touchdowns is that? 1 billion.
What do you mean?
I said I have the Jets by 1 billion. How many touchdowns is that?
Oh,
From Aaron Rodgers.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But but what I'm saying is I have the freaking Jets. Jets, Jets.
I figured that.
And I am so torn on who to pick here. I'm actually pretty high on both teams to be good teams this year. I know it kind of sounds like I heard Breece Hall's going to play, Dalvin Cook's going to play, but I'm not sure if they're up to 100% yet. I also think Josh Allen has a bad taste in his mouth from last year's game where he had the banged up elbow. I know Stephon Diggs got kind of frustrated because he wasn't getting the ball enough. I think Stephon Diggs is going to have his way this game. They're going to put him in the slot, do whatever they need to do to get him the ball, and I think that's a winning formula. I think they come in here to MetLife and they win this game. Give me the Bills.
This one is the toughest pick, I think, of the week. I don't know
Easily.
who
This
to
is
pick.
easily, I don't know about you guys, is this easily like the game you're most excited, except for probably the Colts and the Cowboys, this is the game you're like most excited for?
I'd say, like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know who to pick.
Yeah, it's
And
tough.
and they did the NFL did a really good job because Thursday Night Football is a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions and Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs a little bit more favorite, obviously, but like the Bills and Jets, like that is a wow.
I just have one more thing to say about this game, what makes it so good.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, MVP, perennial MVP, Josh Allen, perennial MVP, great teams, great coaching staffs. One more thing, in New York City on 9/11. How crazy is that?
Is that Monday?
It's going to be 9/11, Monday. It's going to
Wow.
be such an awesome game, dude.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, 2 New York teams. It is gonna be crazy, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. The reason why is I believe the Buffalo Bills have a better overall defense. Yes, the Jets do have Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, but I feel like the Bills have a more solidified all the way around defense, and I think you'll see the Jets not be able to run the ball that well, and so I think when it comes down to who's going to pass better, I think Josh Allen has the ability to pass better than Aaron Rodgers right now. There's a lot of chemistry issues. I know he has a lot of guys that he has not thrown to. Obviously, he brought in Alan Lazard and all these guys, but Josh Allen has the same roster he had last year. So I see Josh Allen having a better game than Aaron Rodgers week 1. I'm curious to see this game though the second time around and see the lines and see how the season's going. But I'm going the Bills' first game. So, with that being said, we have. Let's see here. So I'm looking at all the games that we all have the same. So pretty much looks like the locks that we have as a group, we all have the Ravens winning versus the Texans. We all have the Minnesota Vikings winning against, who were they playing?
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. We all have the Saints winning versus the Titans. Let's see here. We all have the Raiders winning, and that was an upset. So versus the Broncos, that is very interesting. And then we all have the Chargers winning. That is another close game. So we have 4 games the same. That is kind of interesting, considering the games like how they are. Besides the Ravens, I think that was the only one that was a little shocking. But there's some close games that we all picked the same team, so that is interesting. Let's move into our game 7. Let's make this quick, and then we can get into final words.
All right, yeah. Just in the spirit of, the opening night coming up between the Chiefs and the Lions, we have a little bit of trivia. I'm going to give you a performance that happened on the opening night, so that Thursday night game. I'm going to give you a stat line of what a player did. You tell me what player it is. I just want you to guess. Give one guess.
Are we alternating?
Should we? Or do you want to do it at the same time?
Is that who says it first? Is that what we'll do?
We can do that, yeah.
Okay, so Jake, we're just fire whoever says it first.
Alrighty, sounds good.
We'll start off with last year. We have this Bills receiving duo combined for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns in a victory over the Rams. Who were those 2 players?
Diggs, Davis.
Stephon Diggs, Isaiah McKenzie.
It was Diggs and Davis.
Gotcha.
The next one, we have, I think I already talked about this early in the show, unfortunately, but we have 2017. In his NFL debut, this Chiefs running back had 246 scrimmage yards against the Patriots.
2017?
Kareem Hunt.
It is Kareem Hunt.
Jake, I was giving you time there too.
Yeah, I didn't even know if it was 2017 or 2020.
All right.
I was about ready to let a Clyde Edwards-Helaire fly.
Hey, he had a nice game 1.
He did. He really did.
2013, this Broncos quarterback made a statement by defeating the defending Super Bowl champion Ravens and throwing 7 touchdown passes.
Sheriff?
7 touchdown pass game from, you guessed it, Peyton Manning.
Sheriff. Wow. What a guy. Right here.
Yeah. I watched the highlights of that game today. He's
Look at
pretty
this.
good. He was pretty good.
Look at that right there. Okay. I'm getting the
Um,
bobblehead, Jake.
In 2015, Week 1, this Steelers receiver put up 133 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Tony Brown.
AB.
That is Antonio Brown.
And then what did he do? Week 5 last year in Abu Dhabi? Taking a pool somewhere.
They might.
Um,
We might have to censor that. So.
Yeah, that'll be on a different platform.
Yeah, that is not on our YouTube channel. That is not. No, they might have to look that up on their own time.
Let's just say he was a foot away from the first down.
Oh my god.
We can say that. We can say that.
All right, moving on to the next one. We got the Chiefs again. Seems like they've played in a lot of opening games.
That's when you win Super Bowls.
2020, this Chiefs running back had 25 carries for 138 yards and 1 score in a victory versus the Texans. Jacob already guessed it.
So he said it earlier.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. All right, and then the last one. This one happened in a loss. If you remember this game, the Cowboys and Buccaneers in 2021. This Cowboys receiver had 5 catches, 139 yards, and 2 touchdowns versus the Buccaneers.
CD.
Does Jacob have a guess?
Michael Gallup.
It was Amari Cooper.
Huh. I didn't know he was still on the Cowboys.
Yep, that was his last year. That is all of them.
Alrighty. So,
Any predictions for who's going to be that big player for this year's game?
for
Opening
Thursday?
night? Yep.
Oh, I got a prediction. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's a good
I
one.
just have a good feeling.
This fantasy player, that's biased.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot too.
I'm gonna say Kadarius Toney. Is he officially playing? I don't even know.
I think he is.
I think
No Travis Kelce. Someone's going to have to step up.
So,
Is it going to be Sky Moore? Who's
I
it
think
going
it's
to
gonna
be?
be Kadarius Toney. I mean, the dude when he's healthy, he's shown that he can be an elite running back and receiver. But I think you could see him have a really good game if he is healthy.
I could see if Chris Jones doesn't play, like I said, that mean and nasty offensive line for Detroit, I could see David Montgomery. Just got a huge contract. I could see him running
Sounds
all
biased.
over the Chiefs. Maybe.
Sounds like we all made biased picks. I will say we all have them in fantasy, every player we just said, so take that with a grain of salt. So, let's move into some final words. Jake, what do you got?
I just want to celebrate that football is back. Football is back, baby.
Football is back. Jake, what you got?
My final words. Yeah, go buy NFL Red Zone if you've never tried it. I don't know how much is NFL Red Zone. I probably did
Depends on your platform.
differs on what provider you have, but I think it's worth every penny. If you're on the fence of kind of an NFL fan, you've kind of like the NFL, but you're not so sure about it. I guarantee you, if you try NFL Red Zone out, maybe get in some fantasy leagues, you're going to become a pretty big NFL fan. It's just so fun to watch. Yeah, get NFL Red Zone.
And then Anthony Richardson wins the game for the Colts. He has 50 rushing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and the Colts win by 3+. Mark it down. Colts win. That wraps up this show on the CFTC HQ. We are officially out. Football is back.